Welcome, everyone. I am thrilled to be here at Green.io to talk about something that's at the heart of both sustainability and technology, the user experience. I'm a UX expert and a sustainability innovator, and I'm on a mission to transform how technology is driving climate action. As the founder of Climate UX, I'm fusing behavioral science, data-driven insights, and UX strategy to help build intuitive, high-impact solutions that turn sustainability from an aspiration into action. I have been working for over 20 years in Silicon Valley at Google, Facebook, the BBC, and more, designing award-winning apps and mobile products. And I'm on a mission to build a more usable future. Some people think UX might just be about making apps easier to use, but today I'm going to show you how UX can become a lever for climate action. So let's start here. Every swipe, tap consumes energy. And when we design bloated apps and websites, we're increasing our energy usage, not just for us, but for every user across every device. UX has ripple effects. In a climate crisis, that makes us responsible for reducing waste and minimizing impact. So we're shaping behaviors, often unconsciously, and we should be designing and building with intention. For all of those out there, think to yourself, do you have one website that maybe you have full control over or partial control over? Many of us might even have more. During the session, we saw people having up to 5 websites in their purview. And that means that these daily interactions can really have multiplicative events. So let's talk about sustainable UX. It's design that reduces harm and increases climate positive behavior. Thorsten over at the Sustainable UX Network outlined 11 great principles, and summarizing some of them here for you, these include things like minimizing data transfer, optimizing energy use, prioritizing durability of the designs to create long-lasting products, and designing for behavior change. I'll talk more about this later in the talk, about how we can design with the climate in mind, lightweight interfaces, renewable infrastructure, and ethical content choices. So think lean, efficient, and empathetic. Jerry McGovern has a great book called The Worldwide Waste, which reminds us that the web is like an invisible landfill. Digital clutter, unused content, bloated code, oversized images, all creates carbon emissions. For example, a single email with a large attachment can produce up to 50 grams of carbon. But if you multiply that by millions, you start to see the problem. And a fun fact for those out there, the average worker produces about 10,000 emails every year. Multiplied by all of us, you can see potential for the problem and success. So if people come to me and say, hey, Julie, I want to get involved, I always say, let's start with a content and a data audit. What are we storing that nobody needs? Can we reduce image sizes, delete unused code, streamline workflows? The Center for Responsible Innovation's framework urges life cycle thinking, designing the product that lasts, updating things efficiently, and minimizing footprints. So one tip that you could start with today is setting internal metrics for page weight or carbon budgets. Which sounds great, but you're probably asking yourself, how do I do that? So the very first thing you can do is start by calculating carbon footprints. There's a ton of great calculators available online today, and I'll show you on the next slide a couple of my favorites. Also, the W3C is doing some great work around helping people choose efficient hosting and delivery solutions, and there's a lot of great resources out there that you might have heard earlier from First Shot. And there's also so many wonderful resources out there. McGovern's book is one of my favorite about just how to digitally downsize your footprint. And that includes measuring your baseline and tracking your products. As we've heard in other talks, measurement is one of the key ways we'll be able to see progress because we can only improve what we can measure. You can measure progress on this just like you would with SEO or with accessibility. This is another amazing aspect of the web that you can use for good in the world. So would you like to see a few of these tools that could be useful for you? Here's a collection of my favorites, though of course, there's many more out there. I didn't build any of these, so I'm just sort of suggesting them as solutions you. The website Carbon Calculator is great for quick checks. If you want to share simple impact stats like how many trees would you need to offset your page, it's a great place to start. Digital Beacon also has last 10 tests and helps you break things down into things like images, fonts, scripts, and that's very useful for talking with the creatives on your team or your UX counterparts. EcoGrader takes maybe a bit more of a holistic approach. It scores not only your performance, but also the UX inside of the green hosting that come together. Google Lighthouse isn't carbon specific, but it is a really great proxy because more efficient sites are more sustainable. Green Web Foundation, you might have heard from earlier in this talk, has a great set of tools around CO2.js that integrate right into your pipeline and help you estimate emissions. This could be a game changer for some. EcoPing is like a Fitbit for your website. It tracks emissions and performance over time. And Blacklight helps identify privacy invasive third-party scripts that often bloat the page, increasing load and increasing emissions. So the big takeaway, we already have tools. Now it's about putting those tools into your process and aligning them to make data-informed and climate-aligned choices. One way you can think about sustainability by design, as we've talked about, is through these 4 areas: designing for reuse, avoiding short-term incentives that promote overconsumption, and aligning with circular systems. This is beyond UX. This is a mindset shift, building with foresight, and not just features. Making climate-friendly behavior easy, habitual, and communal can often be started with nudges. So Thaler, in his book Nudges, talks about nudge theory, which includes things like smart defaults, simplification, and timely reminders. Some great examples here might be your smart thermostat has preset eco modes on it. Or inside your ride sharing app or your delivery app, they might have an eco-friendly mode that users could turn on. There's even fun apps out there that help you with trash and recycling gamification inside your own household, and that can reduce friction to help people make good choices and reinforce collective action. Speaking of collective actions, it's one of the questions as a UX professional that I think is most interesting in this space. We need to both empower the user as well as support systemic change. UN Act Now campaigns suggest us moving to sustainable transport or reducing food waste or rethinking our consumption. And here in Singapore, we even see the SG Green Plan asking businesses and individuals alike to step up. The designs can reflect this duality, personal responsibility and systemic impact. So a few techniques that are used quite well in this. One is social comparison. You might have seen this kind of nudge in the hospitality industry where people say, people like you are doing X. Maybe that's even happening today with your own energy tools. Communal dashboards are also very powerful nudges to help people see what they're doing and bring out their positive and competitive spirit. And also having shared goals, aligning the team to each other so that people are able to come together and agree on what the goal should be so that they can work towards addressing it. Okay, well, what can you do next? One thing is there's some small steps you could start just today by running a page audit, optimizing your heaviest content, and then you can start to build momentum. You can review your UX practices with the climate in mind. And if you want support, either from team training or hands-on UX design workshops and action work, my company helps team build a usable future. So let's make digital tools that are both powerful and sustainable. I'd love to hear from you as you're listening to this talk about what inspires you. Is there an app, a tool, a product that impressed you, something that helps make people make greener choices, whether it's reducing energy, saving water, raising awareness? Just drop it in and let me know. My handle on pretty much every platform is UX Julie. So you can reach out to me on X, on LinkedIn, or anywhere that you'd like to connect. We need a lot more examples to learn from to help people see the impact of this kind of work. One more recap of these key principles in case you're interested in implementing them in your own work. And just want to say thank you. For joining me today. Sustainability and UX are very powerful together. And if you're curious how to get started, or if you're ready to go deeper, connect with me. I'd love to be part of your next steps. And I will be sharing some exciting news end of April. So please connect with me so you can get more information about how to join this movement as well. Let's build digital tools that respect both people and the planet. Thank you very much.